Guys, good morning everyone. In the previous class, we discussed about what is database relationship and what type of relationships are available and how can we establish those relationships by using annotations in our entity classes. So in the database, mainly we can see four types of relationships, guys. One-to-one relationship will be available. One-to-many relationship will be available. Many-to-one relationship will be available, and many-to-many relationship will be available. One-to-one, nothing but one record in the parent table will have a relationship with another record in the child table. So we can represent that example, person and passport. One person will have only one passport. So person ID we are going to insert in the passport table to establish the relationship. And when you go for one-to-many, one record in the parent table will have relationship with multiple records in the child table. One employee can have multiple addresses. One author can publish multiple books. One category can have multiple products. Then many to one. So the reverse of one to many considered as many to one relationship. And the next one, many to many relationships available. Multiple users are having multiple roles. Users data will be in one table. Roles data will be in one table. User roles will be available in another table with the joint table concept. And these are the annotations we are going to use to represent that relationship. And we also discussed about cascade. What is cascade? What are the operations you do on the parent table should reflect on the child table will be represented by using cascade. And the next one, fetch type is available. Fetch type will represent child records should be loaded along with the parent record or not. So there are two types of fetch types. One is lazy, another one is eager. Lazy is the default fetch type, guys. So only parent record will be loaded, child records will not be loaded. When you go for eager fetch type, along with the parent, the child records also will be retrieved. Now, let me create one project in this to understand how the relationships are working. So I'm going to use my IDE and I will create one project and we will demonstrate on this association mapping practically. So first let me go with one-to-one relationship example. I will take one person table and I will take one passport table and I will try to insert the record into person table and we will see passport and person how they are working. Okay. So my IDE is opening. Let me go to the database. So let me use a database that is SBMS 45 database is available. Let me check it. Show databases. Yeah. So the database, if it SBMS 45 database is available, use SBMS 45, then show tables. Employee table is available. That's fine. Drop table employee. Whatever the employee table is there, I have dropped it. Show tables. Currently, there are no tables available in our database. There are no tables available in the database. Now, I want to create one project. In that project, I want to establish the relationships. One-to-one relationship. First, I want to establish one-to-one relationship. Okay. So let me go to my workspace and let me create a new project. Now, in the one-to-one relationship, I'm taking the example person and passport. I'm taking the example of person and passport. So here you can store person ID in the passport table or passport ID in the person table. Anything is fine. One-to-one relationship we are going to establish. Person and passport. Good. I'm waiting for my IDE to open. Yes, my workspace is opening. Yes, it is opening. Now I want to create one project here with the data JPA. I'm going to create one application. So in this application, I will take two entities, person table and passport table now. So go here, create one new Java project with the Spring Boot, file, new Spring Starter project. So I'm giving the project name as one-to-one application, guys. One-to-one app. One-to-one application. One-to-one relationship I want to establish, taking Maven. Packaging type is a jar. Group ID I'm using as in.ashok IT. Base package also I'm using as in.ashok IT. Click on next. Select the dependencies. So I'm using data JPA. Spring Data JPA dependency I'm using, and MySQL driver we are using. I want to insert the data in the MySQL database. Okay, these are the two dependencies I'm taking now. Next and finish. Yes. Project is getting created. I'm waiting for the project to be created now. It is downloading the required dependencies as part of our project creation. I think the new Spring Boot version added, so that's why it is downloading all the required dependencies to create the project. Yes, our project is ready, guys. So let me close the unrelated projects which are not required. I have closed it now. So our pom.xml file is there. Yes, data JPA dependency available. MySQL connector is also available. Now create the entity classes in this application. New package entities. For entities, I'm creating one package. In this, I'm creating a class with a name called person. One class I created with a name called person, and one more class I'm going to create with a name called passport. New class person and a new class passport. So these are the two classes I created. Now let me write the required variables in these classes. Let me write the required variables in these classes now. Person will have a ID, private integer person ID, and private string name and private string gender. Right now, let me represent this as the entity class at the rate entity annotation. At the rate entity annotation I'm using, and this is a primary key at the rate ID. So for this ID we are using at the rate generated value strategy identity. Okay, so we will use strategy as identity strategy. So with this, person class is created, which is represented as a entity. Similarly, passport, I want to represent the passport also as one entity. And here, passport ID, passport number, whatever that you want, you can generate. So private integer passport ID and private string passport number will be available. Passport ID, passport number, and private local date when that passport is issued date, okay, and passport expiry date. So which is local date, expiry date we are specifying. So passport ID we are taking as a primary key, and let me use at the rate generated value. So strategy we are using identity. Yes. Now person and passport are two entity classes. But currently, is there any relation between the person and passport, there is no relation between the person and passport, guys?
No relation.
Currently, is there any relationship between person and passport? There is no relationship between the person and passport. Currently, there is no relationship between the person and passport. Now, I want to establish the relation. What kind of relation? One-to-one relation I want to establish. One-to-one relation I want to establish here. So how we will establish one-to-one relation? So passport is belongs to person, private, person, person. So this is one-to-one. I'm going to specify this is one-to-one, and at the rate join column I'm going to specify person ID. I'm going to specify person ID. So what is the meaning of this, guys? What is the meaning of this?
Here it will be foreign.
Yes. Inside the passport table, I want to store the person ID. Okay, so that we can understand this passport is belongs to which person. This passport is belongs to which person, we can understand. So that's why inside the passport entity, I'm having a reference of the person and I'm specifying one-to-one, and I'm giving join column name is equal to person ID. That means person table primary key should be inserted as a foreign key in the passport table. That is one-to-one relationship. One passport belongs to one person. One passport belongs to one person. That is the relationship we are representing here. Same relationship you can represent in the person side also. You can specify private passport. So what is the relation here? Here also one-to-one relation. Here also one-to-one. That means one person will have only one passport. One person will have only one passport, and you can specify cascade type is equal to all. So whatever the operation you do on the person, that should reflect on the passport also, but in the one-to-one that is optional. Okay, so cascade is equal to cascade type all, and this passport is mapped with the person, mapped by is equal to, in the passport we have representing the person, right? We are representing mapped by is equal to person. So I'm representing the relation at the both sides. In the passport entity, the reference is available for the person. In the person entity, the reference is available for the passport. So this, if you don't write also, no problem, because already in one side the relation available. In the passport entity, person entry is available. We are representing this with the one-to-one relationship. Join column, that is person ID. If you want to represent the relation in the person entity also, you can specify this person is having a relationship with the passport, mapped by person, cascade type all. What is the meaning of cascade type, guys?
Sir, join column is not needed here, sir. In
Here
person
not
side.
required. If you want to insert passport ID also here, you can add it. Otherwise, it is not required.
Sir, is the fifth column is going to add in the passport entity, sir, after you define this join
Yes,
column as?
in this passport entity, person ID column will be available.
Okay.
Because that is a relationship, right? If we see in the diagram also, I have given that representation. Whenever we insert a record into that table, passport table, person ID column will be created as a foreign key.
Okay.
Person ID will be inserted into passport table as a foreign key. So that is the reason here I have specified join column. What is the meaning of join column? That is going to represent foreign key relationship. You got my point?
Got it.
Yeah. Now let me create one service class here to insert the record. New class. I'm taking one class with a name called person service. So let me keep this inside a service package. So let me represent this as a service by using @service annotation. @service annotation. I will write one method. Sorry, before that I need to create the repositories. Sorry, I forgot the repositories. What is the purpose of repositories here? For person, one repository is required. For passport, one repository. So if you want to perform operations with the tables, then we need to create the JPA repositories. New repository, I'm creating this as passport repository. Person repository is available and passport repository is available. So it is going to extend the properties from JPA repository. So the entity that is person and the ID which is integer number type. The ID is integer which is number type. Coming to the passport, here also we are extending the properties from JPA repository. The entity type is passport and the primary key type is integer. Yep, the primary key type is a integer. Now coming to the service. So I want to inject person repository and passport repository here. Private person repository. I'm injecting by using auto wiring. By using auto wire, I'm injecting both repositories here. Person repository and private passport repository. I'm going to inject here. By using @auto-write annotation. Now, I want to write a method which is used to insert the record into table with a foreign key relationship. So public void save person with the passport. I want to save the person record along with the passport. So first let me set the data to the passport, guys. Okay. So I will create the object for the passport and I will set some data to the passport. So passport entity object I created and setters and getters required. Set passport number, issue date, expiry date. Don't write the toString methods, guys, when you are working with the relationship. Okay, always generate the setters getters. Don't write the toString. If you write the toString, then there is a chance of getting Stack Overflow error. Okay, so source, generate getters and setters, select them and generate. So my setters and getters added for this passport, and the same thing for the person also. Generate the setters and getters. Source, generate getters and setters.
Sir, in person class, what are the cascade was there, right? So that is why it is optional, because we have to indicate, right?
We are indicating, sir, person is having one passport, and in the passport we are indicating this passport belongs to one person. So writing here this is optional, it's not mandatory, because in the person table I'm not using any join column. What is the purpose of join column? Join column is used to create the foreign key column. So foreign key, person ID I am storing in the passport. Passport ID I am not storing in the person. So if you don't write this also, nothing will happen.
But sir, like in passport entity also, like we are not defining cascade any
Not required.
property.
In the one-to-one relationship, it is not required. That is
Okay,
what.
so it is by default enable, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Person service I'm taking here. Passport dot set issued date. Okay, I will use local date dot now. So today date I'm taking this one, and expiry date after 10 years. Okay, passport is ready. Now let me create the person entity also. Person P is equal to new person. I'm creating object for the person. Okay, then let me set the data to the person. Person dot set name, some name I'm setting, and set some gender. ID I am not setting because it will be auto generated because of generator primary key. Okay, now I need to establish the relation. So if you see in the entity, person having a relationship with the passport, passport is having a relationship with the person. So before inserting, I will associate these entity classes. How I am going to associate entities. How we will associate them? I will specify passport dot set person object, and I will specify person dot set passport object. Person object I am associating with the passport object I am associating with the person. Then finally save person. Now I am going to use person repo dot save of person object I am inserting. So when I insert person is having the passport is having the person. Now person record will be inserted and passport record will be inserted and person ID will be populated in the passport table. We are going to insert this data. I want to save the person record along with the passport. So first I am setting the data to my passport object. I'm setting the data to my passport object. Then I'm setting the data to person object. Here I'm establishing relationship with the person and passport. Passport dot set person, because passport entity having the reference of the person and person ID will be used as a foreign key join column. And person is having a relationship with the passport 1-to-1. So now if you see passport dot set person dot set passport, I'm associating these two entity classes. Then I'm calling person repository dot save method. It is going to insert person record, passport record, and person ID will be inserted in the passport because of join column. Now let me check this by executing. For this I need to configure data source properties in our properties file. So let me take our data source properties, guys. Spring dot data source dot username password, something like this. I need to configure spring dot data source dot username. Okay, then spring dot data source dot password URL username and password we will configure, and URL also we are going to configure. My username is root, my password is also root, my URL is sbms45. What is the database username? sbms45. Okay, now you can check the queries also. The queries which are executing spring.jpa.showSQL is equal to true. Then spring.jpa.hibernate.ddl auto update. If the tables are not available, I want tables to be created. If the tables are not available, I want the tables to be created. DDL auto update I have given. Now go to start class of our application. This is our application start class. Run method is getting called. It will return the reference of IOC container. Get the context object. From this context object, you can call service bean context dot get bean of. We can get person service object. In that we have a method. Call that method now. Person service you got. Now call this method, which is person service dot save person with passport. Person service dot save person with the passport. Okay, passport repository and person repository. Person service is available. Passport entity available. Person entity is available. Now, so currently in my database, show tables. No tables are available. It should create the table and it should insert the data along with the relationship. So as we discussed, this is our relationship. Person, passport, 1-to-1. So the person ID should be inserted in the passport table as a foreign key because I have used join column. Let me run this application now. Run as boot application and see the queries which are getting generated on the console. Can you see the queries which are generated on the console now? It created a table called passport, created a table called person, alter table passport, constraint is added. Okay. Alter table passport, add constraint, alter table passport, constraint, insert the record into person and insert the record into passport. Now go to database, show tables, passport table available, person table is available. First let me select the data from the person table, select the star from person, ID, name and gender is inserted. Then now let's go here, select the star from passport. Now can you see foreign key in the person table, passport ID not available, guys, because in the person entity join column is not available. Now so if I use if you see the passport table, passport ID, passport number, issue date, expiry date, person ID is also available. Person ID, which is a join column, person table primary key is inserted in the passport table as a foreign key. So that is relationship. So when we are establishing the relationships, we are using these annotations. Now go to passport entity. You can see one passport belongs to one person, join column. Person ID, person table primary key will be inserted in the passport table as a foreign key. That is the relationship.
Sir, why the columns are not ordered as you mentioned in the entity, sir? It is
Order is not important, sir, in the table, because you can just drag and drop the orders also. Order is not important.
okay.
So we need to see whether the data is inserted, the foreign key relationship is available as expected or not.
Sir, is there any benefit by mapped by, sir? Mapped by
Mapped by is just to reference that, sir. So it is belongs to which entity.
Okay, sir. Bidirectional, sir. Otherwise.
Yes. Option. It is option. It's not mandatory.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Why passport ID not inserted in the person table, guys? Why passport ID?
We are not using join column, sir. Join column.
Join column we have not specified. Okay.
Sir, we can use it. We can use here.
You can use it here also, sir. No problem. But I used it here. So in the passport table, I want to populate the person ID. Select a star from person. Person ID, name, gender is inserted in the person table. In the passport table, if you see person, passport ID, expiry date, issue date, passport number. This person ID is coming extra, which is a join column. That is a foreign key relationship. So when we are establishing the relationships, foreign keys are required. Are you able to understand how the one-to-one relationship I configured in my entities?
Sir, in the service layer, we are not using like a passport repo.save.
No, not required, sir, because we are saving the person. Person is already mapped. Here, if you see, person is having mapped by this one, passport. Na? Person entity already we are giving for the passport. So whenever you save the person, it will understand that this person is having the passport object also. That also will be saved. JPA is matured here to save the both records into two different tables. You no need to save manually.
Okay.
Good. So one-to-one relationship we are able to understand. Good. Next one, I want to establish one-to-many relationship, guys. That is most used relationship in the real time. Okay. Single project only I'm taking. All the relationships I will establish here only. Now we have person and passport. With this we understood one-to-one relationship. Now I want to go for one-to-many relationship. So what is the meaning of one-to-many? Can we call one-to-many as many-to-many also? Can we call one-to-many as many-to-one also, guys?
Yes, sir. We can, sir.
Yes.
We can call.
Yes, sir.
Can we call one-to-many as many-to-one also? Employee and address. So one employee can have multiple addresses. Now, where to maintain the foreign key? Employee should contain the address ID or address should contain the employee ID. Which is recommended?
Address content
Employee, sir. Employee
content.
contain address ID.
Address ID we should store in the employee table, or employee ID we need to store in the address table.
Employee ID stored in
Employee ID
address
we need
table.
to store in the address table, sir. Employee ID.
Employee ID should be stored in the address table. If I store address ID in the employee table, what is the problem?
Duplicate.
One employee can have multiple address.
One employee having multiple addresses. So will you insert 2 records in the employee table for 2 addresses?
No.
One will be inserted 2 times to store the 2 addresses, or John should be inserted only 1 time in the employee. Come on. Come on guys, John should be inserted only 1 time here. John is having 2 addresses. So in the 2 address table, John ID is inserted here. In the address table, John ID inserted here. Suppose if I don't want this foreign key here, I don't want to use this foreign key. So can I store address ID in the employee table? Address ID 1. Then John is having another address also. Then what you need to do? You need to insert the John record once again and you need to specify 2. Is it recommended? Inserting one employee 2 times to maintain 2 addresses? Is that recommended or it is not recommended?
Not recommended, sir.
Not recommended. So foreign key always will be available in the child table now. When you go for one too many, one employee can have multiple addresses. So in the address table, we need to maintain the employee ID as a foreign key. So that is one too many. If you see from address side, multiple addresses are belongs to single employee. 2 addresses belongs to single employee. This is many to one. If you see from employee, one employee can have multiple addresses. This is one too many. How to represent this? One to many and many to one relationship in the entities. So I'm going to create another entities in the same project, guys. New class. I'm taking the class a name called employee. Okay. And another class I'm taking with a name called address. Employee class, address class. Now in the employee, I will use ID, employee name and employee salary. Private, integer, employee ID, private string, employee name, and private double, employee salary. So let me represent this as a entity class, @entity. Employee ID is a primary key, @ID, and I will use @generated value. Strategy is equal to identity. Generated value, strategy is equal to identity strategy I am using for this. Now, in the same way, let us go for address table. I'm specifying basic annotation entity, and address will have address ID, city, state, country, address type, something like this. Private integer address ID will be available. Private integer address ID will be available. State, city, country, and the type of the address. Is it a present address or permanent address? We are going to maintain. Okay. So now employee is one entity class. Address is one entity class. As of now, is there any relation between the address and employee, guys? Is there any relation?
No, sir. No.
The address and employee now? No. So what kind of relation? One employee can have multiple addresses. What is that? One employee can have multiple addresses, guys. One employee can have multiple addresses. So I will specify private list of addresses. Why I am taking a list here? What is the benefit of taking the list here? You can take list or you can take the set also. Okay. List of addresses. What is the relation? One employee can have many addresses, which is one to many. One employee can have multiple addresses, one to many. So this is the relationship. This is the relationship. Coming to address table, multiple addresses belongs to single employee. Multiple addresses belongs to single employee. I will take private employee EMP. The relation many to one. The relation is many to one, and we will need foreign key, which is join column. Join column name is employee ID. Join column name is employee ID. Okay. So what is the meaning of that join column now? Come on, guys. What is the meaning of the join column?
Foreign key.
Foreign key.
Foreign.
The join column is used to represent the foreign key. So where that foreign key should be inserted? In the employee table or in the address table?
In the
In the
address table.
That is the
Address
reason.
table.
In the address table, I'm taking the reference of the employee and I'm representing many to one relationship along with the join column. Name is equal to employee ID. So employee record, employee ID should be inserted in the address table as a foreign key. Okay, are you clear with this code? Many to one and join column annotation. Are you clear with this, guys? Now let me generate setters and getters here for these variables. Generate setters and getters. Okay, now go to employee. Here also setters and getters. Yeah, one to many. So this is address. This address is mapped with what? This address is mapped by employee. Okay, so you see employee EMP is available. Address is mapped with EMP variable. So I'm specifying this address is mapped by EMP, and we can specify cascade. Cascade type is equal to all. So whatever the operation you do on the employee table, it should reflect in the address table. Whatever the operation you do in the employee table, that should reflect in the address table. That's why I'm giving cascade is equal to all. What is this mapped by and what is this cascade, guys? What is this mapped by? See this. What is this mapped by? It is representing the relation. The employee is mapped with the address and the address is mapped with the employee. So in the address table, we have given employee EMP. That EMP variable name we are specifying. That means address entity is mapped with the EMP. Mapped by is equal to EMP. And what is this cascade? What is cascade type is all? What is the meaning of cascade type is all, guys?
If we perform parent operation, it should be reflected in the child also.
Reflect on the child table. Okay. So employee table is ready. Address table, employee entity is ready. Address entity is ready. Now let us create the repositories for these also. New interface, employee repo and address repo. We are creating employee repo and address repo. Let us extend the properties from JPA repository. The type is employee. The entity class. The data type of the primary key, which is integer. Coming to address, here extends the properties from JPA repository, address entity, primary key is integer. Primary key is integer. All right. Now let me create one service class with a name called employee service. I'm creating a class with a name called employee service.
Or here the REST resource repository won't work, sir.
You can configure that, sir. If you add the data rest, you can configure that also. Private employee repository, which is emp repo, I am injecting @auto void. Now I want to insert one employee with multiple addresses now. I want to insert one employee with multiple addresses. Okay. So let me write a method. First, I created one employee service. In the employee service, I'm injecting my employee repository. Using that, I want to insert the employee. One employee can have list of addresses, one to many. One employee can have multiple addresses. So for this, let me write one method, public void save employee. Now, first let me create one address object. Okay. So address object I'm creating and I'm setting the data to the address. HYD Telangana, type is present address. Okay. Then address to Guntur, Andhra Pradesh, permanent address. Okay. So this is present address and this is permanent address. Now, these two addresses belongs to one employee. Okay. Let me create one employee object now. Employee name and employee salary I'm setting. ID will be auto generated. Set the employee name and employee salary. E-name, E-sal. Set E-name, set E-sal. These are the variables. Okay, good. So two addresses available, one employee is available, just we are setting the data. Now, so these addresses, two addresses belongs to employee and employee having addresses. Now, associate emp object to address objects. How? A1 dot set employee and A2 dot set employee. These two addresses are belongs to this employee. A1, A2. A1 is one address, A2 is another address. Present address, permanent address. These two addresses are belongs to one employee. Associate employee object with the address. Then associate address objects with the employee object. How? So we are going to specify E dot set address list of addresses. So arrays dot as list of A1 comma A2. Address 1 and address 2 objects I'm converting into one list. That list I am setting to set address method. Then finally save the employee. Save employee by using employee repository dot save of employee. So when you save the employee will be inserted, addresses will be inserted, employee ID will be populated as a foreign key. Now look at this code where I am going to save my employee record along with the addresses. Address 1, address 2, employee object. Employee object I'm associating with the address objects A1 dot set employee, A2 dot set employee. And address object I'm associating with employee dot set address. So relationship is there. We are associating that. Then repository dot save of employee. When I save the employee, parent record will be inserted and my child records also should be inserted. Let us try this now. Go to our start class. Person, I'm stopping because already it is saved. Now I'm going to get employee service object. Context dot get bin of employee service dot class. I'm going to get my employee service object. Employee service dot save employee. Employee service dot save employee. I'm trying to save the employee. Check in the database, show tables. Employee and address table is not available. Now let me run this. Run as boot application. You can see the console. Oh, address has no identifier. Okay, I forgot to write @ID. Yeah, in the employee, ID is available. Okay, show tables. Yeah, tables are not created yet. Let us run this application. I'm trying to save the employee along with addresses. Yeah, you can see that now. Address table created, employee table created, foreign key added in the address table, employee inserted, and addresses also inserted. Check in the database, show tables. Yes, employee and address. Select star from employee, ID, name, and salary, and select star from address. Now, can you see two addresses inserted along with the employee ID? Foreign key is populated or not? These two addresses are belongs to employee ID 1. These two addresses are belongs to employee ID 1. Come on, guys.
Sir, in one-to-many, the cascade property is not enabled by default, right? We have to explicitly mention.
Yes.
Join column, we can use one to many also, sir. One to many also.
Where you in which table you want to maintain the foreign key, there you need to specify, sir. Why you will
Okay,
use
sir.
join
Okay.
column here? Not required, na?
Okay, sir. In
Because
child side only.
you don't insert address ID in the employee table. Employee ID you will store in the address table. That's why I am keeping join column here.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, you said that you develop cross-located websites, sir. Have you used which relationships, sir?
Yes, sir. These relationships are there.
Okay.
One to one, one to many. These relationships are available. Now, employee with address, I'm able to insert. Check this employee service, how I am inserting the data along with the relationships. Two address records available. One is present address, another one is permanent address. For the address objects, I'm setting the employee. For employee object, I'm setting the addresses and I'm calling employee repository.save of employee. So employee is saved along with the employees. My address is also saved and the address table is having a foreign key. Inserting the data, that is different. You just need to understand how the association mapping we are doing. How the association mapping we are doing. Employee having one to many with the address. address having many to one with the employee. Join column, which is a foreign key. Employee ID, we are storing in the address table as a foreign key. That is the relationship. Now, let us see by retrieving employee record with the employee ID. Try to retrieve employee record with the employee ID. Public void get employee. So simple, I'm just writing employee repository dot find by ID of 1. I just want to see how the query is getting executed. Is it going for lazy loading or is it going for eager loading? I want to understand. I'm trying to retrieve the employee. Okay, employee is a parent or employee is a child here as per this diagram. What is the
Parent,
role
sir,
of
parent.
employee? Employee
Parent.
is a parent table or employee is a child table?
Parent table.
Employee is a parent table. Employee is a parent table. Now, I'm trying to retrieve parent record. Parent record having the relationship with the child records. That parent having 2 childs also. Now, I'm trying to retrieve only parent. Get employee, find by ID of 1. Get employee, find by ID of 1. EMP service dot get the employee with ID 1. Okay, when I'm trying to get the employee record with ID 1, is it going to retrieve only parent record or it will retrieve child records also, guys? One parent available, that parent is having 2 childs. Now I am trying to retrieve the parent. When I retrieve the parent, will it retrieve childs also or it will not retrieve the childs?
Only parent.
Only parent.
Only
Are you
parent.
sure?
It
Yes,
has
sir.
to get only parent, which we asked, right?
Now,
No, both.
see this. Employee service dot get EMP run as boot application. See the console, how the query will be executed. Now see that, is it retrieving only employee table data or it is retrieving address table data also?
Employee table data only.
Employee
Only
is a
employee.
parent. That employee having 2 childs. Employee is a parent. That employee having 2 childs. When I'm retrieving the parent record, is it retrieving only parent or it is retrieving the child records also? Come
Only
on.
parent.
It is retrieving only parent. That is lazy loading. It is following which category, guys? Lazy loading. What is the meaning of lazy loading? What is the meaning of lazy loading?
Loading data on the
It is loading
On
only
demand.
parent record. Suppose now if I specify fetch is equal to eager. Now what is the fetch type I have specified now? Fetch type is eager. Now see the query. I changed fetch type to eager. Now see the query change. Earlier select star from employee, only employee table data. Now see the query. Now our query, is it retrieving only employee record or it is using left join to retrieve the address table data also?
Yes, sir.
both.
Yeah, it is getting from the both the tables,
Now what data it is getting?
both employee and address.
Yes. You understand what is fetch type now?
Mhm.
When I don't specify fetch type in the parent table, by default, it is loading only parent table data. Child table data is not coming. So because the default fetch type is lazy. So when you retrieve the record, parent record, only parent table data will come. If you want to load child records also along with the parent, you specify fetch is equal to fetch type dot eager. Then it will load parent record and child record also. It will load the parent record and it will load the child record also. Are you clear with my point?
Sir, in similar way, when I'm inserting the employee record, I do not want to insert the address data for debugging purpose.
Then if you don't want to insert the address data, you no need to associate that object here. If you don't write this line of code, then your address will not be inserted, right? Only your employee data you are having and only employee record you can insert. So this is employee object, you save only employee, then address data will not be available.
Okay.
Sir, is mapped by is a compulsory attribute.
Yes, sir. In the one-to-many, it is mandatory. You need to specify this. That will specify the relationship where your relation object is available. It is this address is mapped with employee. So in the address we are having that one, we need to specify this. This variable name you will specify to represent the relationship. And fetch type, by default, if I don't write fetch type, what is the default concept, guys? If I don't write like this, what is the default?
Lazy.
Lazy. What is
Lazy
the
one.
lazy?
Only parent records will come.
It will load only parent record. It will load only parent record. Along with the parent, I want to load my child records also. So I'm specifying fetch type as eager. Fetch is equal to fetch type dot eager. We are going to specify. Are you clear with my point? Yes. So we are able to understand one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-one relationship also. And what is the next one available, guys? Many-to-many relationship available. What is the meaning of many-to-many relationship, guys? What is the meaning of many-to-many relationship? Users and roles. User table, which is used to store the user's data. Roles table, which is used to store the roles data, and there will be a third table will be available, which is user roles table, which will maintain user ID and role ID in the third table, join column. So how that join table, join column will come? So this is the example for many-to-many relationship. So I want to establish many-to-many relationship. When you want to establish many-to-many relationship, then third table is required, which is called join table. I want to represent users and roles in my application. Users will be available in the user table. Roles will be available in the role table. Which user is having which role, that we will maintain in the user roles table, which is called join table. So in that user table primary key, role table primary key will be inserted in the user roles table as a foreign keys. Look at the table structure. Look at the table structure. User table is available, role table is available. User table available and role table is available. Come on, guys. Are you able to understand what is many-to-many relationship? Guys, are you able to understand many-to-many relationship?
Sir, it is one user can have many roles, right?
One user can have many roles.
So how it is many to many?
Third table is available now. Multiple users can have multiple roles. You need to see the third table here, join table. Multiple users will have multiple roles.
Okay. Sir.
Now, is it many-to-many or not?
Multiple roles can contain multiple users, sir, like that also.
Yeah, that is what. Multiple users can contain multiple roles. Multiple users can contain multiple roles. That is many-to-many. I want you people to implement this many-to-many relationship on your own. Already my code is available in the Git repository. I want you people to do some research on this and try to implement it. So the source code, the entities, the project is already available in the Git repository, many-to-many relationships. So what are the entity classes we need to create? Okay. User entity, role entity. The source code is available in the Git repository. So one is role.java, which is a role entity. Another one is user.java, which is a user entity. And user repository and role repository is available. How to insert the data? I have given the code also. I want you people to analyze this many-to-many relationship before coming to tomorrow's session. Can you guys try this? Can you guys try many-to-many relationship before coming to Monday session? I have explained one-to-one relationship and one-to-many relationship and many-to-one relationship with association mapping. I want you people to do the research on many-to-many relationship. The code is also available in the Git repository. Can you guys try to implement this one?
Sure, sir, we will try.
Yeah, please try to implement.
Sure, sure.
Okay. Any questions, anyone, for today? Anybody having any questions for today?
Sir, one question, not related to this. Sir, actually, there is a one concept that is a JWT. Is this the similar that we have done in the REST API, JSON? Or
No, that is comes under security. We have not discussed Spring security as of now.
okay, and authentication authorization that will also comes under the data security, Spring security, right?
Correct.
Okay, sir.
So can we prioritize this security and the Kafka before other topics?
Not covered, sir. We will cover those topics. Those are
Yeah, can we prioritize that means
sorry? I did not get your question.
So security and Kafka is an important topic, and we are facing a lot of question in the interview. I think.
Yes, sir. Those topics are pending. We will cover those topics. Mostly in the next week, those topics will be completed.
Okay.
Is tomorrow class
Sir,
available, sir?
actually, we have done one session on Sunday, right, for the Spring security.
That
Can
is
you
a
please
free
provide
workshop.
that link?
That is a free workshop. It is there in the YouTube. If you go to Ashok Guide YouTube channel live videos, you can find that video.
Okay, okay, sir. We will go through that. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll not have any session tomorrow, sir.
Tomorrow we don't have any class, sir. We have next class on Monday.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, fine, guys. Thank you. So with this, our association mapping is done. Many-to-many relationship. I want you people to give it a try. I have given the Git repository. for 3 1-to-1 relationship example, whatever the code that I have done, this is already there in the Git repository, guys. So I am adding the repository links in the nodes. So if you see 1-to-1 example, one-to-many example, and many-to-many example, whatever the code that I developed in the class, that is available in the Git repository. The Git repository links I have added in the notes. I will update these notes in the portal. So I want you people to practice it before coming to Monday session. All the 3-4 relationships that you need to practice before coming to Monday class. So these notes I'm updating under JPA notes, guys. So if you access JPA notes, then you can find the latest data JPA notes here. Data JPA, that latest notes you can find out. I have updated the notes, just access that from the website. Thank you. Happy weekend. We'll meet again on Monday. Thank you, guys.